So in section 3, we're going to discuss how to plot ordered pairs. So for the number 1, the directions, then we need to plot this 3 and then it's negative 3. So the first number in this ordered pair is x. The second number is considered to be our y. The x values, we go left and right. So this dot here was actually located right in the center. So you just click on the dot and drag it to the right three spots. 1, 2, 3. Because this one's negative, we'll continue to drag it down 3. 1, 2, 3. So positive, we go to the right if it's the first one. Negative, we're going to go down because it's the second one in the y value. And then we click and then hit check answer and we're good to go. So now looking at this quadrant, which quadrant am I circling over? What number quadrant? So in the chat box, just put what number you think this quadrant will be. And once again, if you don't know, just put a question mark because like I said, I don't know where everybody is as far as quadrants or the level of math. So just let me know so I can either go faster or slower in this video. So for here, we're going to start with 1. Then we're going to go over here, and this will be number 2. Down here will be number 3. And then this last one will be number 4. So quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and then quadrant 4. So we'll come over here and says what quadrant did this point lie in? 1, 2, 3, 4 is in 4. So we come click the number 4. We hit check answer. We'll be good to go for this particular answer here. So let's move to the next question. So for this particular one here, we're just going to, all you have to do is just say where this is located. If it's in the center, then it's called the origin, which is going to be our coordinate 0, 0. So anytime this directions in my Math++ asks for you to plot, remember, always put it in parentheses. And the easy way to do this is if you click on this icon here, it provides you with the parentheses and the order pair. So all you got to do is click inside the blue box and you can put your numbers in. So the first one here, remember, go over to the left, 1, 2, 3. So this looks like it's going to be a 3. And then remember, click inside the blue box because if you don't and you miss it, my Math++ won't get it. So you have to either click on slide over, slide into the blue box so you can put your answer in. And the other one you go up 2. And then we hit check answer and we should be good for this problem. So this is just, again, the first half of section 3 is just plotting. So if you have any other questions or concerns, just let me know about plotting. So let's move forward to, and you can put your questions in the chat box. So let's move forward to using the calculator a little bit when we get into equations. And even looking at this word problem here, we have our X column and a Y column. So all they're really requiring us to do is just make order pairs. So 2001, comma 28.3 is actually our first set of order pairs that they're asking for. So first has our X, comma, and then the last part here will be our Y values. And then you just again click the order pair at the bottom. So here is where we need to get into knowing how to change this equation into a y equals mx plus b form, which is called slope-intercept form. If you know how to change the equation into y equals mx plus b form, you'll get a lot of these problems correct using the calculator and you move a lot faster. Now, my Math Plus viewing example, those probably tell you to plug in this number here, then plug in this number for x and solve. That is perfectly, that's fine. I don't mind you doing that at all. But just for in the long run, the calculator can help you if you can get y by itself. And I have a few examples that I want to make sure we practice on how to get y by itself that I would like for you to work on. We get back to this section here. So Colin, if you don't mind working on Megan, work on number two. Colin, you have number three, and CD, you have number four. I'm going to do number one for you, example, and then as soon as you have your answer, you can plug it into the chat box. So let me go to my So I'm going to go ahead and do the first one, so we know what we mean by getting y by itself. But if you actually kind of already know, I'll put the problems back up there so you can copy it down in just a second. Here's the equation. The first thing we want to do is I like to kind of box in what I'm trying to solve for. I'm trying to get y by itself. So y equals mx plus b is what I'm really looking for as far as what the equation should look like at the end. So the thing I want to try to move first is whatever's furthest away from my y that I'm trying to solve for, which will be this guy right here. I want to do the opposite, which is subtraction on both sides. And then I can now cancel this out and drop down what I haven't used. So 2y is equal to, and I like to draw like a wall here so I can separate the two sides so I'll know where I'm moving everything to. Now this is, you can do minus 16, negative 16 minus 3x, or you can do negative 3x minus 6. It does not matter as far as the order that you want to do. If you want to do, let's start off like just doing it this way. Now understand we can't combine these two because the 16 does not have an x, so there's no combining like terms. So we kind of leave them separated. The next step was going to divide by negative 2 to get rid of this 2 to each part. So this cancels. So now we're left with y is equal to negative 16 divided by negative 2 is going to give us a positive 8. And then a positive, because these two negatives make a positive, 3 over 2x. So if you want to switch it around so the mx is first, again, we just flip-flop the two. Y equals 3 over 2x plus 8. So this will be our final answer that we're going to put in our calculator, which I'll show you in a minute. But the key thing is you're taking your equation and trying to get y by itself on each part. So let's go back to the screen. So so these are your three problems that you wanted. I think Megan, I gave you number two. Colin gave you three, and then Sid, I gave you four. So once you have your answer, you can type it into the chat box. I'll give you a few minutes to work on those. All right, sent. So here are the answers for this one here. And again, I put the a lot of you have the x in the back. It's not really a big deal, but just to have it in that slope intercept form, you want to have y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. So the mx goes in front. And just to kind of give you a little tip before that we're going to actually talk about a little later on in this section, the y and the x, those are just coordinates. So the y and x are just coordinates that we get from the ordered pair. The m, so y equals mx plus b. The m stands for slope. Plus b, this b over here, that stands for y-intercept. So the b stands for y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is going to be the y-intercept. And that's, again, we'll talk about that a little bit later on when we get to the sections. So once you have your ordered pair, your equation set equal to y, we can go to hit Y in our top left-hand corner of our calculator. We go ahead and put in the equation. In this one here, I gave you an equation of just 2x minus 1 as an example. Then you're going to hit second, then graph. And then you should see two columns. This is where we're going to locate the order pairs needed to complete the question in MyMathLabs Plus. They'll actually give you a table as far as what to complete in MyMathLabs Plus, and you just fill out that table. Did everybody get these two columns? Thumbs up before we move on. I can go back. So this is to put y equals 2x minus 1, and then you're going to hit second graph to get those tables. And just in the chat box, just put yes if you got it. So you would need for when we solve for the y over here, you just kind of scroll up and down on the x side. So don't go to the y and scroll up and down because the calculator will not allow that. Stay on the x column and go up and down as needed. So when you go up and down, you're looking for -3 on the right side. And this is, remember, this is, you have to change this equation, this new equation here to y equals form, then put it in. And then you scroll to 14 for the x and then put it in and then type it in. So this one is already in y equals mx plus b form, so you don't have to actually worry about moving things over. So you just put this straight in your calculator, locate the 6, put the y in, then keep your eye on the right, but don't slide again to your browser to the right y column and go up and down. Stay in the x, and then just look for the -11 on that side, and then you put in the answer in the box here. Now there's going to be a few of these problems where the numbers get a little big. So I wanted to quickly show you a trick to get to those numbers quicker than just keep scrolling down. You're hitting that scrolling button so many times. And also too, you might get to a problem. I'm thinking it might be this one where you're going to have to do like the viewing example and plug it in because your calculator will not show you fractions. So just in case if this was 1/2 and 1, your calculator will not show up with 1/2 as a fraction. So if you can get these two, that's great in your calculator. But this one, the last one, you might have to plug in by hand. So you plug in 1 for the y and solve for x to get the fraction because the calculator again won't show fractions. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. So number 18 is where the numbers are really, really big. So I have y equals 40x plus 3,000. And I want you to know if x is 100, then tell me what y is. X is 200, tell me y. Now you're more than welcome to take this 100, 200, 300, plug it into x, times it by 40, and then add 3,000 to it. And then that gives you each of the y's. I have no problems with you working it out that way if you feel more comfortable with it. But again, I just want to show you another option that's going to be a little bit that could be helpful to these types of problems. So to find bigger x or y values on your calculator, the first thing you want to hit is second. Now this is after you put your equation into y equals. Once you have your equation into y equals, this is what you need to do. You hit second, then you hit window because you're trying to get to this table state here. So this second here, all this second does when you hit second, instead of it showing mode, delete, y equals, you actually go into stat plot, table set, format, quit, insert. That's what the reason for we're using second for. And then you should show up this little screen here. The independent stands for the x values. The dependent stands for the y values. So what you need to do is switch the independent to ask. So you just go down, switch it to X, and then hit enter. And then you see it blink on the X part. That's when we hit second graph, and then we're getting a blank screen because the calculator is now asking for, once you put your the equation in, what number do you want us to find first? So going back to the math class problem, once we put this in, you type in 100, hit enter, and it'll spit out the number for you. It'll actually perform the math for you. 100 times 40 plus 3,000 gives you the answer for this one, and then this one, and this one. So that keeps us from just scrolling down, going down to 100. You clicking it, your calculator go down to 100. Then you click your 100 again. Your calculator go down to 200. That's just too much clicking going up and down. So if you switch it to ask, then you can just type in 100, get the answer. Type in 200, get the answer, and 300, get the answer. The only thing you have to remember with this part is to make sure you go back to the table and put it back to auto. So switch it back to the auto once you do that part. So just kind of reset your calculator. It needs to always stay on the auto and not ask. Other than that, this will conclude section 3.